Hi, this is Michelle with Michelle's Macarons, and today we're going to do some macaron troubleshooting and try to figure out how to stop getting soft shells. So if you take your macaron out of the oven and everything else looks good, but the shell, the top of it just kind of breaks and it doesn't have much of a structure. If you haven't already, go watch this video and I show you step by step how to make macarons. And if you're still getting soft shells, then come watch this. Okay, so the first reason you could be getting soft macaron shells is under baking. So you don't want to over bake them, and you don't want them to be, if you over bake them, they'll be crispy on top and then also crispy in the middle. But you want to find that perfect temperature and amount of time where it's just like a slightly crispy exterior and then melts in your mouth when you get to the inside. So make sure you have an oven thermometer and your oven is actually at the temperature you think it is. Maybe adjust the temperature, bring it up a little bit. And when you do, just bring it up like 5 degrees. Don't do anything crazy. And then you could also kind of adjust the time as well if you're still getting the soft tops. A big reason you could be getting soft shells is this is not the case for everyone. It depends on your area. But if I, in Ohio, do not let mine rest long enough, let them dry before I put them in the oven, then they don't get that nice crisp outside. So that could be a problem that you can fix, but also a lot of people are doing the no rest method. But if that works for you, do that. But if you are doing that and you're getting soft shells, maybe consider letting it sit out and dry a little longer, especially if you're in a more humid climate. If you learned something from this video and you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button and the bell next to it to be notified whenever I come out with a new video. Okay, another reason could be you're using something like cornstarch or something that you're using to get it to dry faster and maybe to fix the hollows. That could lead to, sure, fuller shells, but it could also make the top just totally soft. So if that is a problem you're having, maybe try taking out the cornstarch and go watch this video about hollow macarons and see if maybe you can fix it a different way besides with the cornstarch, or maybe try to dry it longer if you are using the cornstarch. So another reason is maybe your almond flour is too oily, or you're using something with a lot of fat in it like cocoa powder, or ingredient in the shell that has oil in it, or is just kind of messing with the meringue. So if you're just starting, don't use cocoa powder or anything, or any coloring or oils, you should never use oils in the meringue, but if you are using some sort of food coloring or flavoring, take that all out until you have this problem solved. Okay, your meringue could be under whipped, so if you haven't already, go watch this video and this video, and that will show you how to make sure your meringue is actually at stiff peaks and not just what you might think is a stiff peak. You gotta make sure it's really sharp and they're not falling over and it's not foamy still. So you really want to make sure your meringue is correct before you continue on. Okay, and another reason that maybe if your shells are good to begin with and then they turn soft, that could be kind of how you're storing it. So if you're not storing the macaron shells properly, go watch this video and that will show you how to store your macarons so you're not taking them from the freezer and getting too much moisture in them. You just have to be careful with that, especially if there are spots in your fridge, which I know that fridges I have usually have a spot that I know the stuff will freeze there, and kind of taking that out and not realizing that they're freezing, thawing in your fridge. So if you have a super cold spot, maybe keep them out of there. Or sometimes your fridge could be putting out a lot of moisture, and if your macarons aren't in a complete airtight container, they could get soggy from the moisture in the fridge. That's usually not that common, but it could be if you have an older fridge. I had a new fridge I got brand new and put macarons in there, and apparently the container wasn't airtight, and it ruined the whole batch because it was the moisture in the fridge got onto them and then they were just disintegrating. It was very upsetting. All right, now another reason could be your filling is too wet. This is if they were fine and then they became too soft. So your filling could be too wet, whether that's a cheesecake or jams, jellies, some sort of buttercream that may be kind of broken and has that liquid in it. That could be a problem. But if you are going to do a jam or something in the shell, I would suggest like piping buttercream around the outside and then putting a little bit of jelly or jam or whatever in the middle instead of just like smearing it on the whole thing. There are people in the Facebook group though that say if they do want to use jam on the whole thing, they will maybe spread a little buttercream on each shell and then put the jam on as like a protective barrier if you know you're going to have a loose filling that's got a lot of moisture in it. Or you could spread a little white chocolate or regular chocolate and then put the filling in the middle. I don't love that because I really like the filling to kind of like incorporate with the shells and just, I think it really is better if they have time to, when, like I talk about in this video, they have time to mature and kind of just not melt together, but it really makes everything taste good if the moisture from the filling can a little bit go into the shell. So I would avoid the chocolate on the shell if you don't have to, but it is something that can, if it's something that's got a lot of flavor like jam and then the chocolate, it could work. So you could do that as well. Okay, if you want to start selling your macarons, join the email list below. I have a course called the Home Bakery Blueprint where you can work with me to start and grow your own home bakery business. So I walk you step by step through the process of licensing, pricing, how to price, how to market, set up your social media, website, photography. Everything you need is in that course. So go to the email list, put your email in there, then you'll get an email as soon as the spots for that open up. If you're having trouble with your macarons and you're getting soft shells and stuff, you can join the Michelle's Macarons Facebook group, put your pictures in there, post your meringue, what it looks like, just add pictures step by step, and then we will all be able to help you make better macarons. There's like 15,000 people in there. And yeah, everyone's very helpful. Okay, and if you'd like, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and I'll put those links in the description below. Okay, check out these other macaron videos. Okay, love you, bye.